Yeah, just Sveno Mick here. Here we are, Friday, lunchtime. Have a look at what I'm eating. I won't take any big bites out of it, but it's a sensational sausages. They do up a like a healthy pork patty, beef patty, lamb, and anyhow, it's a meat patty with greeneries and sauce on grain bread. Oh, it's absolutely, it tastes divine. I won't be talking for long. As much as I love talking, I won't be talking for long because I don't want it to go cold. But what we got here today is a very wet day. Let's just turn that radio right off because I don't want to hear it. And the last thing I want to do is cut me bit of talk out. And even to top it all off, the little dogs, I get them. That's a beef sausage, beef and herb and garlic, I think, and then I got myself some sausages too. Some other preservative and gluten-free pork, apple and walnut sausages. Sensational. Now the sensational is the Saints AFL team, St Kilda. Big mad St Kilda, born in southern New South Wales, or brought up in central or southern New South Wales, Paul was, I think. Or southwestern New South Wales, or semi-southwestern, south, a little bit west, but anyhow. So wet weather, so that's my Friday. I'm doing a little bit of maintenance, running around looking at a few jobs. It's too wet to work, it's been pouring since last night. So we had rain all last weekend. I was going dirt bike riding tomorrow, but no dirt bike riding. Couple of quick things on my Friday roundup. Work's been going well, been fairly busy. Enough work, because I've got to try and back it down a little bit and do different types of work. I want to get into a bit more mowing because I've been having a few back issues and a few shoulder issues. So I've been doing a fair bit of lifting in the last few days, and I've sort of got to get away from that because I've got arthritis in the base of my back. But anyhow, that's another story. We don't need to hear about that today. It's not going to be a negative negatory. It's going to be a positive pository. Oh, geez, I think I could be a wordsmith. Anyhow, so the other day I was done that quick one on the cemetery. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether the Witter area is named Teutoburg or whether the town originally, there was the township that was going to be there was called Teutoburg, but there was going to be a township out there, as I understand it, which was Teutoburg, and it was named Witter. I think they ended up naming it Witter, but a lot of those roads there are all named after German Christian names. Christian, hang on, is that right? Christian? The given last name, anyhow, the family name. Like I'm Swenson, there's Schultz, there's Van Dryk, the list just goes on, name after name after name, which is German. But and as for the Mitchell Aboriginal, now Mitchell, as I understand, didn't have a last name. But it said they're deeply loved by all. He carried a little young boy, I think about 10 or thereabouts. You can just Google it and find out. Just Google Mitchell Aboriginal Witter Cemetery, and I'm pretty sure the Malanius Historical Society has done a story on it. But Mitchell, I'm not sure if it was Gubby people or Cubby people. I know it was Gubby. Which Gubby, as I understand it, was a series of tribes in and around the Sunshine Coast area, maybe up to nearly the foot of Fraser Island, I think, and down to, I know one of my workmates, Jimmy Page, he's Gold Coast Hinterland tribe, and he was Munjali people, his tribe. So, or his people, I don't know if Indigenous like being called tribe or peoples or anyhow, I don't want to offend anyone. So anyhow, Jimmy was down there, so I'm not sure how far. I think the Gubby people might have only went down, maybe not even to Brisbane, but I'm not 100% sure. You'd have to find out. You have to do research. But Mitchell Aboriginal carried a little sick boy, I think had typhoid or one of the diseases at about the turn of the 1900s into the early 1900s, and carried him from, he's the Conondale or Woodford, down, because the roads were pretty poor back then. He carried him all the way to the hospital in Brisbane and stayed with him until he got better. So that's why they say Mitchell Aboriginal mourned and deeply loved, because he was such a nice person, they said. Being, it doesn't matter if he was Indigenous, if he was white, he was black, he was pink, he was purple. A nice person and a good worker. So anyhow, that was that little quick story on that. And what else am I talking about? Wet here, very wet. As you can see, the rain's just slowed up a bit now, but we're at midday or close to it, and it's still very wet. And it's been raining all night, and I'm going to finish my sandwich off. But these are beautiful, and I generally get a sandwich or sausages once a week to eat for my lunch of a Friday. I like to just do that. And I like to support local business. And what else have we got going down there? I'm down at the showgrounds just having this to eat. Then I'm going to go and give me little doggies, when that cools down, that sausage, I'll give them half a sausage each. So they eat plenty well, but they don't need a big heap more food, but they just love the sausages. All's going well. I've got to say, I do enjoy working for myself, because when I work for the local government, on these wet days you do a bit of chainsaw maintenance and that, and do your paperwork and catch up with your swims and that sort of stuff for your safety stuff, and do safety audits and clean up the truck. But there's only so much of that stuff you can do, then you run out. Because unless you had to be called out or something, you weren't just gallivanting around the countryside doing nothing. So for me, yeah, I'm not getting paid, but I can do plenty of other things, and there's always something to do. That's one thing I really enjoy working for myself. There is always something to do. If it's servicing machinery, changing blades, going looking at work, going looking at growth rates, there's something to do. Look, I'm going to leave it at that. Everything's going well for Swenson Mowing Grounds Maintenance, and I'd like to get a few more views on my Sveno Mick, but I may have to change a bit of stuff I'm doing. I've tried to take some of the dribble out of it, but you know, when you're just doing the same sort of stuff week in, week out, there's only so many things. I'd like to be running around the countryside doing wheel stands on my bikes and that, but I mean, without work, that won't be happening, because I've got to pay for it. Look, I'm going to leave it at that. So it's Sveno Mick from Swenson's Mowing and Grounds Maintenance, looking at a bit of work and running and catching up with people I'm working for and telling them what I can and can't do in this weather. And also Sveno Mick from Sveno Mick. Sveno Mick out and thumbs up for a Friday. And I've got a job to do tomorrow, moving green waste, so long as it's not pouring down rain, but I'm going to be in my wet weather gear. Sveno Mick out.